my kids. Good evening. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Taylor and Collins Live. I'm Shayna Taylor.
And I'm Ernest Collins. We're glad to have you guys with us here today. Today is September 13th, 2016. It's like this year's almost gone.
Almost. My birthday is past. I'm waiting for it to come back again.
Mine too. Oh.
We
celebrate
have the same
together.
birthday.
Hey, we're here in the nation's capital. We're glad to have you guys along with us. We have a great show for you today.
As always. Doesn't change.
It's after Memorial Day. I'm sorry, did I say that? After Labor Day. There
You've
we go
been
again.
calling it Memorial.
I know. What is wrong with me?
I think you want our birthday to come back again.
Is that what it is?
It's exactly.
Okay, well, it's after Labor Day, guys. A lot of stuff going on. This lady here, she stays busy. Where were you for Memorial? I keep saying it, for Labor Day.
For Labor Day, I did some U.S. Open stuff.
US Open?
I made it to the U.S. Open for the
does that
first
not
time,
surprise me?
and it was super awesome because I've always said I wanted to go to U.S. Open, French Open, Australian Open, but we'll talk about that in sports. But I did that, and then for the first time going, because I know we were going into football season, I got a chance to do some sports betting.
Oh, wow.
That's what I did. That's what I did for Labor Day weekend. I went up to Delaware and I went to the casino and I did sports betting. It is amazing.
Is that like money? Do you get?
It's lottery. So I shouldn't say it's not sports betting. It's lottery. Like, it was so official. They gave me a lottery ticket. It's a lottery ticket. So I guess the schools win too. So you go and you place your bets, you pay your money, you pick your teams. I was starting out for the first time, so I only tried it with 3 teams.
Okay.
The craziest thing about it is you absolutely feel like you're gonna win. Like I really, it wasn't like the regular lottery because I never play the regular lottery. I actually thought I was gonna win. Like, I made my picks. There was no way that I couldn't win, but any given Sunday.
Is this football?
I'm sorry, it was football.
Okay.
So yeah, so that
So
that
you're at
was
the U.S. Open playing football at a tennis tournament.
well, it was 2 separate outings because the weekend was a long weekend. So I went to the U.S. Open, I took in some matches, and then I went to do some sports betting.
At this point.
What was your weekend like?
Hey, it's nothing like yours, clearly. Nothing like yours at all. A lot of time shopping. I did some pretty serious damage in the mall.
What do you have for me? Did you bring me something? Because I didn't.
Yeah, and
Okay,
well, you
I'll
were
wait.
in New York. You were in New York.
You could have still bought me something. I'm okay.
I
gotta come back at some point.
Well, I got a lot of R&R. I did a lot of nightlife, like I often do. I was going to Atlanta, but I changed it up and stayed right here in the nation's capital. Had a wonderful time. Once again, so many great things going on here. But before we get started, National today. Oh,
September 13th.
Renata. I have to give a shout out to Renata in California.
Hey,
who
Renata boo.
happens to be in love with the National Day. Now, as you guys know, every day is a national day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day there's something going on. And this week, on this day, on the 13th, it is National Ant on a Log Day.
So now, folks, when Ernest told me that it was National Ant on a Log Day, I was like, can we find another day that may be a little bit better than an ant on a log? Because I thought he was going to ask me to go out into the garden or the bushes and take some pictures of some actual ants on a log. But, I mean, that's my blonde moment.
Well, I was driving my car, and I happened to pull up at a light the National Day, and it said ant on a log, and I was like, okay, that's log, and that's water, and we don't do that.
I'll pass.
But I looked at it, and I was like, ant on a log, I can do this. So, Renata, this is for you. This is ant on a log, and it's simply a celery stick with peanut butter and raisins. So that's what you guys have for today for our National Day. We're going to try them out in a few minutes. There's also
I'm gonna try mine out now.
You gonna try yours out
I'm
now?
waiting a few minutes. You go ahead.
There's also several other days today. There's National Peanut Day. The National Peanut Day is, it's not simple. National Peanut Day. And also, this is one that the parents are going to like. It is National Kids Take Over the Kitchen Day. How messy could that be?
I don't even like kids.
Wait a minute. You can't say that. You can't say that. It is, well, I guess on this day, it's fair for the kids to go in the kitchen and tear it up because they're back in school.
And they can make these because these were awesome.
Are they really good?
This is good as heck.
Well,
It's something about the peanut butter being sweet and then the raisins having a little bit of a salt on it.
Well, I'm going to try one on break because I don't want to give a frown that I may not enjoy this.
It's pretty awesome. And then if you don't enjoy it, then I can eat the rest of them. Thanks.
Well, I'm glad you like them. I'm glad. After Labor Day, of course, you guys know everybody's back in school now. So the parents now, you guys have your home back. You can walk around in the nude or whatever we choose to do. When the kids are away, you have that free time from 8 o'clock until 2 or 3 o'clock.
All day. I can't, I mean, I'm super excited about the kids going back to school because I can drive through my neighborhood and not have to worry about all these kids running up and down the street all over the place. Though I'm happy to see them outside because I'm all for the kids that are outside in the streets playing sports because I prefer them to not be in the house playing PlayStation and dot.
Day,
But yeah.
mate. Well, I mean, that's what kids do, you know.
I'm glad to have my block back. Thanks.
Well, I'm happy about them being back in school, but the traffic. Every school bus is out there. Everybody's in, it makes the commute really, really rough.
Leave early.
Absolutely. Well, I guess. In the nation's capital, of course, you guys, we've been 95, 96 days of 90-degree temperatures. Fortunately, today is 88, so it's really kind of bearable. Not that humid.
I won't look a gift horse in the face, or is it look a gift horse in the mouth?
Look
I'm gonna take what I can get because when it starts getting cold and the snow comes, we're gonna be hoping for these days that are more in the 80s and 90s.
Well, I always say I appreciate the winter because you can shield yourself from the winter. When it gets hot, you can always
shield yourself from the heat.
I'm sorry. When it gets cold, you can always put on a blanket. You can put on layers of clothes. When it gets hot, you can't do anything. You take a shower. What do? You take a shower.
You stay in the house and turn on the air.
You walk outside and you start sweating and it's all over. So you can't shield yourself from the heat, guys. So
are you willing bad weather to come?
I'm gonna take it any way I can as long as I can enjoy the day.
You sound like my okay.
Oh, I don't know what she was gonna say. I don't know what I was gonna do. Also happening around the district, the African American Museum.
So excited, you guys, about the African American Museum. It has taken, I feel like it's taken forever, but it's only been a few years that they've been building it. It is a huge $500 million project. It is so gorgeous. It gives me, when I look at it, I have so much pride. It gives me the feeling of like the kente cloth. Do you feel like
Are you serious?
I kept looking at it and I was like, this feels like, from the outside, it looks like an African American museum. Like it looks like it, and you don't even know what's inside, but then I realized it's the dimensions and it looks like a kente cloth.
It's actually a beautiful building. Now, when I was in New York when they were building the Barclay Arena, and it kind of looked like that. It kind of looked like a big spaceship that had just landed in the middle of Brooklyn.
Gorgeous.
Well, now it looks like that spaceship has arrived in the districts, right across from the monument. It's really an excellent location. It opens September 13th, guys. That's in a few days.
Actually, they did some previews, but to the regular people, he's so important, he's so special. It opens then, but for the regular people.
I'm so important, I'm going to have pictures for you guys.
For the regular people, I don't think it's going to open till like the 24th. President Barack Obama is going to do a huge dedication ceremony on the 24th.
And you're absolutely correct. On the 24th, which is a Saturday, is when it opens. And I believe it opens to everybody on the 26th.
Everybody else, but the tickets are crazy. Like I think it's going to be free for a while, but we're going to post on our page because we'll give you information on how you can get timed entry passes because there's going to be long lines and long waits of people trying to get into this museum. We're excited about it, but we'll post it on our Taylor and Collins Live Facebook page. We'll let you know. We'll send you the link where you can log on and you can get timed entry passes, and it'll give you a specific date and a specific time that you can check out the new museum. And they've been really hush-hush about what's inside.
I know, I can't wait. You know, before the African American Museum used to be on, is it 11th Street or U Street? Right across from Howard University. And it was like a little building. And you walked in and it was like pictures and a few things. Nothing like the respect that it's getting right now. So I'm really excited about it. I encourage everybody, if you get a chance, you're in the district, please check it out. It's just a wonderful sight to see.
And because I'm a foodie, I'm super excited about the fact that I hear they're going to have some amazing restaurants and food.
Inside?
Inside. You'll be able to get like shrimp and grits. They're going to have...
Wait, did you say shrimp and grits?
That's the first thing.
Wow.
You know I love grits. Even though I was told when I was younger that grits make your hair nappy.
See, I don't want to get in trouble, but when you
clearly
say
it's
shrimp
true.
and grits, I'm thinking watermelon. I mean, I don't think
Shrimp and grits. There's going to be gumbo because they're going to go through all different gumbo.
So it's all cultural food.
It's the African American Museum.
Okay, they get it.
You expect lox and bagels? Like, what do you expect?
I really don't know. I really don't. But when you say grits, and I mean...
Well, there's going to be a list of things. I was just mentioning the things that I'm looking forward to tasting. So shrimp and grits. So my hair can get nappier.
Lady going to get grits, of all places. I don't mind. As always, guys, you know we have to keep you guys informed on Decision 2016. So much stuff in politics, but we're not going to spend a lot of time on politics. We're just going to briefly get you guys in the loop, in the know-how to find out what's going on. Now, right now, as you guys know, 9/11 came up. Hillary Clinton unfortunately, oh, here we go. This is the headline for you guys right here in the district and the Express.
The Washington Post
Yeah, with the
posted it.
it's the an off-brand of the Washington Post, right? Well, anyway, Hillary didn't. She couldn't make it through the entire 911 ceremony, and I saw the reel with her going, and it was really kind of scary because she kind of stumbled and lost her ground, and they had to throw her in the car.
She's got pneumonia.
And the sad part
Or
about
that's
it,
what they ended up saying. She's
well, that's
got
what they said, and
pneumonia.
she knew it, and she didn't say anything. Now, does this help her? Does it hurt her? Let's face it, it's not going to change our decision.
Well, I think it speaks to challenges that women have always had. Like, we go to work. Like, all the women I know will go to work bleeding out of the eyes. There are plenty of days, like, you don't really want to take sick time off for that. You don't get a chance to take time off from being a mom because you're sick. So you don't get a chance to necessarily leave the trail. And 9/11, that event was huge for her. So I could see myself in every other American woman that I know. You know you're sick, but you also feel that there's someplace you got to be.
Okay, but my thing is with Hillary and all this non-trustworthy issues that she has, her holding it out, does that help her or does it hurt her? I know her camp has come out and apologized for not saying whatever. And I don't think any president has ever gone on the campaign trail this heavy, this hard, where it's so close and then they fall ill at some point in time.
Well, I don't think you have to disclose it. I mean, she's been transparent. I was surprised she told people that she had pneumonia. She was transparent with that, but most people don't say, I'm sick, I have a cold, I have pneumonia, I have this. I don't think she has to. I think you get to have some personal business, and your health is one of those things.
Okay, but if you're running a clean campaign and there's nothing in the negative showing or that could push you back, anything like a question, so we should be giving sympathy to Hillary.
Absolutely.
But instead, there are a lot of people that are still saying, okay, well, she withheld this.
Oh my God.
I mean, well, if she withheld this, then how does this help her?
So it would have been a double-edged sword, because had she said, I have pneumonia, I'm extremely sick, I can't show up for this 9/11 event, then they would have said what? It would have been a problem then.
Well, it's going to always be a problem.
It's going to always be a problem.
Well, I just hope everybody really understands. It's a human thing, and once you're campaigning, it's really, really rough. But, I mean, poor Hillary.
Don't make me go back to saying my hashtag.
Lord, don't do the hashtag.
I won't do the hashtag, but I've already told y'all that there was what the issue was.
Well,
not about pneumonia. It's not about nothing else. I'm not going to say it, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Of course, guys. The campaign still must go on. Donald Trump is still campaigning. And, of course, Hillary can't. The doctor has her on rest. So our commander-in-chief, Barack Obama, went to Philadelphia to continue the campaign trail for her. So
I think that's awesome.
That's got to be huge.
It is huge. It is awesome. It speaks to who he is as a person. But it also makes me think on the flip side. So let's imagine Donald Trump getting sick. Who in the Republican Party is going to care enough? Like, I'm sure the whole party would be pushing somebody, have their foot in someone's back, but who would that person be? Who would be the person that
I
would
don't want to knock anybody, but
Pence by himself?
No,
but
I'm thinking Sarah.
I love it.
I'm just thinking Sarah. I mean, if we want to be entertaining,
I just got excited. I just got excited. Please. So I kind of feel like I want Hillary Clinton to just sneeze and cough all over Donald Trump. Do they have a debate coming up? Because I want her to sneeze. I want her to sneeze and cough all over him so that he can get pneumonia, just so Sarah Palin can show up on the rest of the trail.
Oh my goodness. Speaking of the first debate, guys, the first debate is September 26th. It wasn't the opening of the museum on the 26th, but it is the first debate, and it's going to be in New York, at Hampstead, New York.
Can she keep pneumonia that long? Like, to give it to him?
I don't think so, but if somebody you think Barack will go? Another thing, the Obamas are really on the screen today. Michelle was on the Ellen Show today. Wonderful, man, to get to know the private life of her. She was shopping. I mean, it was a wonderful, wonderful way to ignite the party.
They've been doing an amazing job. They've been doing a really good job. I mean, everybody's behind Hillary in the party, and they're supporting her. I'd like to see some type of support like that from the other side, but I guess when you've got the person who's running, you can't really expect to see much of that.
Here's breaking news. Donald shocked everybody. I don't know if he's changing. I don't know what he's going. You want me to say Mr. Trump? Okay, Donald Trump. That's better. So Donald Trump is taking a different approach.
Well, that's your boy. You know him. So you can just keep calling him Donald, because y'all kick it, y'all hang out. Keep calling him Donald.
Please don't believe me, guys. Please don't believe me. I mean, it's not a problem. He has enough money to kick it. But anyway, Donald said nothing negative about her. He really didn't, which I commend him. This is not a time, and if they're supposed to be friends outside of this thing, I think you're supposed to support, your running mate. I mean, so the Democrats are also scrambling, trying to figure out another just-in-case strategy. So they're trying to come up with, which as they should, and just in case things don't go right. Oh, another thing, guys. So on my shopping thing today,
Oh
I was
gosh.
intrigued
I'm scared.
for Labor Day. I got it right this time. So I brought you guys something that really intrigued me, and I think Shannon's gonna like. So for those of you guys who are politically involved, here we go.
Whatever this is, he's held it secret from me.
Anyone
this
but
entire time.
Hillary. Now this was hard to find because here in the district,
This is hard.
this was really hard to find. Everybody wants Hillary.
Is there an anyone but Trump?
I'm sorry, I said that wrong. This was easy to find.
Anyone but Hillary.
So where I went, it was easy to find.
Where did you go?
We're not gonna say. Here's another
Are
one,
you
guys.
giving that to me like it's mine?
So that's a negative. Well,
Okay.
Okay, and here's another one.
anyone but
so for
Hillary.
those of you guys who love Hillary, move over, boys. It's Hillary. You like? Okay, you don't like that one? Let's get to.
Well, so no. I mean, so go back because hold this up. Because I'm confused about certain things. It's the move over, comma. The move over, comma, boys. Like that's grammatically not even correct. Hillary Clinton wouldn't say something like grammatically incorrect like that. I'm stuck. I can't move. Move over, comma, boys. What's the comma? Who
Okay,
wrote,
I'll get the
what
other one for you.
illiterate wrote this? I'm over it. Go ahead to the next
T-shirts
one.
weren't expensive, man.
Clearly, because they've got typos.
Okay, here's one for you. For those of you guys that like Donald, like a boss, Trump 2016.
He's got the Nene Leakes hair, though. That's the, for those of you who don't know, that's like the housewife of Atlanta. He's got like the Nene Leakes.
Okay, that's
Swoop.
another. You think it's over with? No.
Oh, please.
For those of us who don't like Donald Trump, here's one for you. Why don't we dump the Trump 2016? See, I'm trying to be fair, guys, so you can't say that I'm just pro-Hillary. We're going for everybody, right? Okay, here we go. You like that one?
Please.
Here's one. I know you guys are going to like this, okay?
I'm dying over here.
Bill for First Lady.
Now that's my favorite shirt. Please tell me that's the last one because that was so anticlimactic,
This is hard
and
to
I
find.
hope this is the climax.
This is, no.
Bill for First Lady.
Bill
There's
for First
something
Lady.
better than this?
There's one better for
Is this in my size?
That's in your size.
Bill for First Lady. Okay, this is my
Now,
size.
for the last one, and if we had a drum roll, we go for this one. This is for.
It better be better than this one.
It is better than this
Okay,
one.
I'll
You
wait.
ready?
I'll wait.
How about this one, guys? Everybody sucks 2016.
Mess about it.
So that-
Please tell me there's another one.
That's it. I mean, we're trying to laugh about this. It's a serious situation, but I mean, come on. If you don't like any of the candidates, that's got to be the best T-shirt for you.
Speaking of which, so I'm so mad about this. Is that the Puff Daddy shirt? Is that Diddy shirts? Because Diddy has been going around telling the black voters to not vote. He's been telling them to hold their vote. So
what kind of
Diddy,
sense does that
Sean
make?
Puffy Combs, the same person who years ago led this whole rock the vote movement to tell people of color to vote.
Right.
So now he's specifically going out telling people, I guess he's saying, hold your vote, but drink Ciroc. All right, dude, whatever. So, I'm going to do that still. But the thing is that he's telling them to hold their vote. If you don't feel that either of the candidates are going to speak for you, to hold your vote. So what does that do then? What's the goal?
I don't
what would be the goal at that
understand
point?
that. And then how effective is Diddy anyway? I mean, I watched him during the VMAs, and I don't know what the heck he had on. I mean, if fashion is definitely not his thing, so his
Fashion
advice,
is his thing.
Not with what he wore. at the
Not these
VMAs.
days?
No, I have no idea what he wore. I don't know if he's trying to take us back to Africa and helping Donald to lead us back, but that outfit he had on was just clearly ridiculous.
So the thing about that, when you mention him with Donald Trump, I'm starting to get okay. So here's another one of Taylor's conspiracy theories, because you guys know that this is my thing that I do. I think Diddy is from New York. He's a New Yorker.
Okay.
He spends a lot of time, I'm sure, around Trump and his people.
I'm sure too.
It's some serious stuff with this. I think Diddy is on Trump's side, and I think Trump has Diddy making the black people not vote so that he can get the votes of all the non-blacks, and then he'll end up maybe somehow winning and stealing the election. And I think Diddy's on his team.
Well, my thing is, I just hope, especially the young ones, 'cause like I said, in my household, I have two young ones that are going to vote for the first time, and they really are not sure who they're going to vote for. That kind of scares me. And maybe we're not relaying, or maybe I'm not getting the information out right. And I do want them to have the right to choose the proper thing, but they have to make the right choice. So I'm going to tell everybody, like we always say, we need you guys to look into the information, find out who you're voting for.
Pay attention to the ballot to see who's on there.
And don't just vote for the president.
Don't be disenfranchised, most importantly. Make sure you get out there and you vote. We're going to take a brief break, and we'll be back to you in a few moments on
With
Taylor
sports
and
and
Collins
entertainment
Live.
and everything else, you guys hang right in here. We'll be right back after this. Thank you for joining us on the Taylor and Collins Show.
Done.
Welcome back to the Taylor and Collins Show. I'm Ernest Collins.
And I'm Shayna Taylor.
And we're glad to have you guys with us right now. It's
my favorite time of the show.
It's sports time, guys. We have so much to cover. Let's kick it off.
It's my favorite time. So the first thing I want to talk about is the U.S. Open. I told you guys I was going to tell you about this. So when I was at the Open, I got a chance to watch some great matches. So I'll say, unfortunately for the United States, you guys all know how patriotic I am. We suck right now in tennis. Like, we absolutely suck on the men's end. We have no men that are close to being in anybody's anything. But hey, juniors, we're killing them in juniors. Like, we're doing our best. But Serena and Venus, of course, Williams were there, and they're the only women that are really stepping it up and representing for the United States. Unfortunately, however,
Serena lost, and she's now the number 2 spot. And we have a new number 1. The oldest woman to debut in the top spot at 28 years old is Angelique Kerber.
Well,
I said that right.
Other than Serena Williams, yes.
Well, other than Serena. No.
So here's the thing. So the rankings have always been a little skewed in a sense that Venus and Serena have never played in as many tournaments as the other girls on the tour. So let's say if there's 200 tournaments on the circuit, and there aren't 200, but they only play in like 25% of them. So the weirdest thing for them their entire sports career is that they've been able to continue to maintain such a high ranking by only playing in 25% of the tournaments.
But there was another thing going around. They said that Serena didn't play in as many tournaments, but she still held her number 1 ranking.
That's my point. So when they are able to win the majors, you get more points.
Absolutely.
So they've been winning more of the major events, so they get more points, so they can tend to relax the rest of the year. Then you've got other players like Angelique Kerber that's playing in more tournaments so that she gets her numbers up.
Right.
So if she messes around and wins one major, which she did.
But the other thing, I guess you're right.
So anyhow, so the crazy thing about this U.S. Open is the number 1 male and the number 1 female both lost. So Novak Djokovic, which is the number 1 men's player out of Serbia, he lost also.
And by the way, Angelique Kerber is from Germany.
Yeah.
So we have a new German. Now, the dangerous part about this is Serena's usually at her best when she's not ranked. If you remember when she got this whole thing started, I think she was barely ranked, 20, 30, whatever.
She came back from an injury. Right.
So we're going to hope that Serena can, and I know Mac is going crazy at the house right now.
Well, it'll be next year.
He's a huge Serena fan. I mean,
well, the U.S. Open is the last tournament of the year that she's going to play in. She's not going to play in any more tournaments until possibly next year.
So do you think at her age and with her condition that she'll be able to take over the title and be the most winning woman in tennis history? Well, the goal that she's going, I think she needs 2 more wins, 2 more majors.
No, she's already the winning.
But she's tied one.
It's 22, so that makes her the.
So she needs 1 more to take the lead.
She needs 1 more, so she's got 22.
So do you believe that she'll get
Absolutely. She's going to be the returning champion in 2 events next year. So I actually thought she was going to probably retire after this year, but she's going to defend her title next year. She'll hit 23 next year, and there won't be an issue at all.
Okay, very good. Well, we're going to all be pulling for Serena, of course. I know I will, and so will my entire household. Football.
Get to it.
Hey, as you guys know, it is the kickoff of NFL season. It is America's favorite and best sport. It's the only time where the guys and the girls can all get together and we can be close to one until somebody starts tripping. But that's another story.
And I want to kick off the football season for us here on Taylor Collins Live. So a couple of weeks ago, we asked you at home and our studio audience to send us in on our Taylor and Collins Live Facebook page some of your favorite picks of you representing your team. Now, we said any team and all teams. I mean, there's 32. We can't expect the whole world to love our team.
Absolutely. So we tried to be as fair as we possibly could. Because most people who know there would be nothing but Dallas stuff all up here. But we are in the nation's capital. We are representing the nation's capital. So I'm going to always try to be as fair as I can and not push anything aside. And these are some of the pictures of some of the
pictures that our producers pulled out. So
from the Facebook page that you guys sent in.
So we got Carlos here. He's an Eagles fan. Hey, Carlos, representing the Eagles.
Yeah, that's a total different
that's George O'Meara. Wearing my number, even though I'm not a Eli Manning fan, but the number it is the number. Well,
that's in New York. I don't know. I thought that was San Francisco.
Yeah, no, that's a Giants.
I got you now. I got you.
He's got the Giants hat on. He's got my number on. Thanks, George, for sending in your Giants. So it looks like the NFC East is rocking.
And there's Chris from Alexandria, Virginia, with, well, of course, he's representing the Redskins.
Yeah, with like product placement. Get out of here, Chris.
And
Like,
advertising for some beverage company.
He's got product
I
placement.
sure hope they're
Boo-bye.
sending you a check for that.
Thanks, Chris, for representing for the Skins.
And of course, there's Mary and Eric. Those are huge. Now, Pittsburgh. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness. I don't
finally
think a lot of
AFC.
Washington fans are going to like this, but wonderful picture
Ooh,
for the
especially
Pittsburgh
not after this
family.
weekend.
And look at Ma in the number 7.
Oh, Mom's representing again, especially after this weekend. Ooh, the Steelers.
Well, the Steelers came to the nation's capital and did a little
Hey,
damage.
there's me.
And
there's
of course,
me. And Chiefs say rest in peace again.
and there's our 2 Cowboys.
That's me in my cowboy gear and my sister Micheline back home in LA. Oh, another
Micheline.
picture with Chief Z. That is Becky and Ebony. Thank you, ladies, for
Hey,
sending
Becky,
it
hey,
in.
Ebony.
And that's Chief Z. He was celebrating the 35th anniversary of the Redskins. Again, rest in peace, Chief Z. So thank you, guys. Oh, that's me. Hey.
And of course, the Carolina. So, both the outfits you have on,
Hey.
I'm not trying to start anything. I'm just saying, neither team was successful.
It's too early in the season.
I'm just saying.
It's too early in the season. So this is me. So anyone who knows me knows I'm a huge Cowboy fan, but I'm also a huge Cam Newton fan. So this is me in my Cam Newton gear. I got the boots. I got the all of that. So yeah, now that you mentioned the loss for the Panthers on Thursday, I don't know if you guys got a chance to take a look at it or hear about it, but Cam Newton's dad has some very serious stuff to say about the officiating from that game.
Well, I don't think just Cam Newton's dad. I had a lot to say, and everybody. I think that they're looking into the referees. I guess calling of the game or whatever the case is. It's clearly if we're protecting, and I get mad because if it was Manning, if it was
Tom Brady,
if it were
anyone
right.
other than Cam Newton or Colin
this guy's
Kaepernick
clearly
or
getting
Russell
hit,
Wilson.
concussion. He's down on his hands and knees and looking at, and nothing happens. There's another penalty where they just offset. Now there has to be something done. I mean, if you're going to call it fair. If you're going to call it, be consistent.
Well, it kind of speaks to the whole movement that Colin Kaepernick is speaking about with racism in the United States. I mean, his dad was very clear in saying that this is a black quarterback thing because this happens. It's happened to Colin Kaepernick. It's happened to Michael Vick. It happened to bless his little heart, RG3. It's happened to Russell Wilson. It's almost like because they're more athletic or they run faster or they can take a hit, the referees tend to allow them to take more hits than they will allow other quarterbacks to take.
And I don't think that's fair because your lineman automatically has a target up of you when you put your hands on the ball, whether you're quarterback, whether you're running back or receiver, you're a target automatically. So the referees don't need to add to it by not calling things that are evident and clear for whatever reason. So I was really not that happy with that game for the great kickoff.
So I'm a little bitter, and then you bring up the fact that we didn't win, but I'm over it.
Well, I mean, I have another problem.
It's week one.
It is, and we're learning a lot of stuff. I have to give, well, the good news about the start of the NFL season, and I have to get into this fantasy football thing, guys. Eventually, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I hopefully somebody can help me.
20 years later, go ahead.
Well, hey, what can I say? But Dallas. Can I get on Dallas for just a quick second?
You should.
I just don't understand how you can mismanage a clock like that if you're supposed to be so elite and so good at whatever it is that you do. I cannot understand how Williams would not run out of bounds when you know that there's no time left. I cannot understand how you would try to run. You can't even do a no-huddle offense, yet you're trying to get back with 5 seconds to spike the ball when you know that, A, you don't have an experienced quarterback. He's still learning. Everybody's still trying to get acclimated to one another, and yet another disastrous, embarrassing particular game. But I still see Dallas being very competitive in our tough division.
Well, it was kind of tricky, and I was a little disappointed because two things happened in that final play. Yeah, Terrence Williams should have gone out of bounds, but I also think that a couple plays before that, he should have gone out of bounds too.
I agree.
Or they should have gone out of bounds, and they chose not to. But when he was stuck in bounds, I can't remember who the player was, but he straddled him and sat on his back.
I saw that too.
He straddled him and sat on his back. The referees did not call it. There was no flag. And Terrence Williams kind of laid there hoping, I guess, that there would have been a call. It's like, dude, no, get up. You get to the huddle. Throw him off of you because we don't have that kind of time. But it's week one.
Now, I can say this because I can. And I've always wanted to say this. We never in Dallas get fair calls. Okay. Home field is never the advantage to us. We always get messed around on either the away games or home. So, Dallas, you've got to do better. Jerry, let's move on to the next team.
So what I like to talk about, because all the Redskins fans at home will get sick and tired of us talking about the Cowboys, but we don't have much to talk about the Redskins. But we can talk about RG3.
We have to talk about the Redskins.
What are you gonna say?
Well, we have to say they actually didn't look that bad until Ben took the field and really actually woke up. I've never seen anybody get rid of the ball as fast as this man does. So I'm not going to fabricate. I really didn't care who won because I really don't care for Pittsburgh that much, and I really don't care for the Redskins, but I was kind of pulling for the Redskins. So.
I was pulling for him. I got some fantasy football players, and they ended up with 0 points.
Is that what it's all
They'll
about?
never start another game on team he hate her. I promise you that. They won't start again.
No, like you said, Robert.
Yeah, RG3. We talked about his new tattoo.
Yeah, you guys jinxed my man is what you did.
Okay, so first of all, I said when he came into the league, he was soft. When he first entered the league, I don't care how he played at Baylor. I don't care what that looked like. I said once he takes off the green and yellow, people are going to get a chance to see that he's soft. So I feel like that's one of the first careers that never started and that's over. He's done.
I will say that when his choice of going to Cleveland wasn't the smartest choice. You should always. I commend who just retired.
Peyton Manning?
Peyton Manning. I commend Peyton because when he did decide at his age to continue to stay in the league, he shopped for a line. He made sure that whichever team he chose to go to, and everybody was really aiming for him, that he had a line to protect him.
But he's also one of the most talented quarterbacks of all time, too. So RG3 had to go where they were willing to accept him. He didn't have that luxury.
I think he did.
Nope,
I think he had more of a choice. But
who was going to take him? I'll wait. Can we get like
I think Texas.
Houston?
I think
Texans?
Houston. I think he would have done well in Houston. I mean, it doesn't matter now. We can't expect. This is just things that I thought.
And that's his hometown, and they didn't want him. Like nobody wanted him.
Well, I think I'm not. This is.
So RG3 is going to be out for at least 8 weeks with the shoulder injury. But again, soft. He's soft. You can't just keep getting injured. I don't even know what his workout regimen is like. I don't know what his health situation is like. So soft. That is like soft.
Now here's one. I'm not going to play the race card.
Oh.
But we have 7 active African American quarterbacks,
Okay.
and 3 of them are out already. Bridgewater's gone.
They're not protecting. And
They
you can't
almost
say
took out Cam.
You can't say they have the worst lines.
Now, Romo.
It's Romo African American quarterback now.
I'm just trying to be fair. I'm trying to balance it. I'm trying to see who's
cannot.
injured. I'm trying to see who's injured. So right now we're thinking 3-1. Are there any other quarterbacks out? Okay.
Well, they call penalties, so people know that you can't hit non-African American quarterbacks. So you'll get penalties and.
Cam, I'm still rooting for you guys.
Stay strong, number one.
They did you wrong.
Don't let them take you out.
They did you wrong.
But I love the way he got up every time. He didn't complain. He has said nothing about it. He said nothing about it. He keeps it moving. He's going to play the games and keep his head in the game.
Well, when you're a franchise player and you have all these endorsements, you have to be smart. And this is what some of the younger players should really understand. Once this money starts coming in, your fame means nothing once your endorsement starts going away.
Right.
So you have to actually play the game. And so I do commend Cam for holding his composure and really, letting his dad step up and tell the story for him. Like I said, Cam, I'm pulling for you and all the guys out there. If we're going to change the rules, if we're going to make the game a soft game, then let's be fair about it when the referees are calling the penalties.
Absolutely. I'll tell you one African-American quarterback that's not going to get injured this season.
Uh-oh, who's that?
Colin Kaepernick. You know why? He's not going to play. They're not going to let him play, and I'm so tired of the whole can we call it Kaepernicking now?
If that's what you like to call it.
I'm tired of this whole Kaepernicking thing. I'm tired that he's getting traction behind this mess. I just don't like it, but what I do enjoy is that the game on Monday night, his game, and I thought that they were very strategic. If you notice, they're very strategic. They're like, we're not going to play the national anthem. They had like this whack violinist come out and play it.
Oh, really?
Did you see it? Yeah, because they didn't want to play the song, and then people feel disrespected because he's going to take a knee, and then there were some other players. He's got some traction behind this thing, but they had a violinist come out and play it. I'll give credit. I had no idea that that's what she was playing. Like it was that, and then he shows up with cornrows. I was like, dude, let me find out. You've never had cornrows, but now all of a sudden you want to be the poster child for African American men because you have such a struggle in this society because you're rich and racially ambiguous looking.
You have to give him credit. He started a movement. I mean, this movement has gone on, even the backlash, but in Seattle, as opposed to taking a knee, they decide to chain their arms together.
Right.
So in any way, this message, whatever's being, whatever's trying to be portrayed here or trying to be relayed here, shall I say, is finally coming across.
Okay, like you said, the message, whatever it is, that's what I want to know. I'm stuck because I want to know what the message is. I'm unclear. as to what are your demands. You have made no demands. You haven't asked for anything. Like, I just feel like as a fan, I'm being held hostage. Like, I'm waiting for him to do something. Okay, so now you want there to be some change. Okay, what quantitative actions does America need to do in order for you to say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and respect this country, and then I'm going to, I mean, like, what does he want? I haven't heard him say anything. It's not fair. I'm not going to, what's not, how does America prove to you, Mr. Kaepernick, that it's fair for you? And then the worst part is that he was talking about some things tonight, that has happened in the district. So there was another African-American man that was shot by police here in the district this time, early this morning over in Adams Morgan. It was a motorcyclist. We'll get the details out, but it was a motorcyclist. He was on his bike. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. He's supposedly driving erratically. One thing leads to another. The police block him in, and then I guess they pin him up against the curb, and the police officer can't open up his car door, so then he just rolls down his window and just shoots the guy and kills him.
Wow.
Yeah, he just rolls down and shoots. And then apparently the police officer had his camera off and turned the camera on afterwards, but they told one specific story, but there happened to have been a witness. So there was a woman who had pulled up in the car next to the police officer who witnessed the whole thing. Well, they seem to have asked Colin Kaepernick what he thought about it.
And why would they ask him?
Why would they? And he said the same thing. It was a generalized statement that it's racial inequality in the United States. You know, black men are being killed. Okay, and what is it that you need to see happen? And what's your timetable? I'm still confused.
Because he promises that we won't get shot.
Did he? Oh, well, let me vote right now because
this thing really isn't going away either. Chris Brown, as you know, Chris Brown got in a little trouble last week with this whole warrant to come into his house and about this alleged gun being thrown out and then pulling a gun on a model or something like that in his home. He also did a sit down at one of the biggest games in LA, the celebrity basketball game, which is huge. Actually showed the arena, and it's actually sold out. There was backlash there. Also, Kid Rock did a concert last night, and his interpretation of it was pretty much blank Kaepernick. And then there are other people that chimed in and kind of agreed. There's so much hatred going on in this world right now. Like I said, this is a political year. There are a lot of things going on.
I'm just confused. I'm confused.
I just don't believe in adding fuel to the fire.
I just need to know what quantitative actions are these people looking for? So tell me, Colin Kaepernick, or anybody who knows him, or Chris Brown, or anybody who wants to sit out, anybody who doesn't want to respect my country enough to respect the national anthem, tell us, post it on Taylor and Collins Live on Facebook. Let us know what type of quantitative, what do we need to see? Do we need to see laws? Do we need to see policies? I don't really care, because until they go into action, it doesn't matter. What type of actions do you guys want to see in this country that'll make you feel comfortable and safe?
I agree. Also, guys, before we go to break, don't forget to keep those NFL photos coming in. This is not the end. We're going to do this all season. Somebody's going to get on Facebook, and please let me know how to do the fantasy football thing. I understand it's not too late. I really want to learn. I want to do something that'll help me to get more involved, because it just seems so.
Next show, I'll show my fantasy football rings. You know, I got championship rings. I won Super Bowls. You can come straight to the source. I'll help you out, my brother. This is what I do.
Well, that's definitely what I want to do. I want to get more involved. And
you're going to do some sports bets with me this week?
Money, yeah.
Oh, no, sports lottery.
Lottery, that's what they're calling it now?
Sports lottery.
So we're changing
I told you I got lottery tickets.
So somebody, please, please, please go to the page and tell me what I need to do. Kind of instruct me on what I need to do to get this fantasy football thing started. I believe that a few weeks into, and I'm understanding that a lot of people were injured, so I still have a fair shot. You got your top quarterbacks. Well, yeah, I'm not going to start with Cam, but there are a lot of people that are giving me hope. Romo, Robert, a lot of these people pick these guys as their top draft pick, from what I'm understanding, because I have no idea what I'm talking about.
I took Cam Newton as my #1 pick, and he is.
You should be scared.
He is. Well, I won both of my games.
Okay.
So I'm actually. Oh, I have 2 teams, so I'm basically 1-0 in both
Carolina
seasons.
didn't win, did they?
They don't have to win. Cam Newton just has to do well.
See, this is. Guys, you got to help me. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
I will help him out. You guys don't think that he's a crazy fantasy football, don't know nothing about it. think about that. We're going to go ahead and head to break, and then we'll be back with entertainment. We got some great stories.
And a new segment called I Just Don't Get It. So hope you guys will stick around, join us. We will see you guys back here in a few minutes.
Taylor and Collins Live.
Welcome back to the Taylor and Collins Show. We're glad to have you guys with us.
I'm Shayna Taylor.
And I'm Ernest Collins. And right now it is time for entertainment, guys.
Entertainment.
So this is anything that has to do with anything about entertainment. And we'll call it Entertainment Plus, right?
Entertainment Plus.
So let's kick this off with Eddie Long, guys. Eddie Long, if you guys remember, Eddie Long is the pastor in Atlanta of a mega church who was allegedly exposed for having a relationship with one of his parishioners, which happened to be a male, if that really matters or not. But it is
absolutely matters.
Well, it's a marriage. Well, anyway, there's Kiki Shepard went onto social media and basically said this picture of Eddie Long looks like he has HIV.
So this picture is the original Eddie Long picture. This is the first Eddie Long, the one who got caught cheating with the dude at his church. That's the first one. So the new Eddie Long, which is the one that Sherry Shepard was talking about, looks like this.
So when I went to social media and I looked at it, I thought that it was like Eddie's older brother or maybe his father. This guy looks nothing like.
Absolutely nothing like him.
He looks nothing like him at all. And he put out a video of him working out, and I believe we have a clip of that video.
Bishop
show you guys.
He said, Bishop, what happened to all of you?
Right.
Well, part of me is melted away. And so I just want to say,
I'm going to look at this one.
A lot of calls of people calling, Bishop, what's going on? What's going on? Well, I said to my congregation, I'm going to live to be 100 years old, maybe add a few more years. But you know what? I wasn't going to get there stopping by Popeyes. You know, that was my weakness, the biscuits with the honey and the chicken wings, spicy.
Okay, now now when I look at that video and then I look at this picture of the Eddie Long that I remember, tell me what Sherry Shepard said again.
So Sherry Shepard said he looks like he has AIDS, and so I guess some of the people from Eddie's camp came to his defense and said, you know, you really can't say stuff like that because it really kind of sets back a situation or makes negative a situation. But then again, we're talking about Eddie Long, who has possibly messed up somebody else's life. You know, messed up this young man and discredited this young man. I mean, this story goes back a little ways, and as I can recall it a little bit, I don't see the guy getting any justice. Like they pretty much made him seem like he was the bad person and the wrong person, and Eddie is now trying to make this big comeback, and he's now saying that his weight loss is because he's now healthy. He's no longer eating Popeyes. And
Popeyes biscuits.
Is that the best that you can do? And then he's doing I mean, if you guys get a chance, go to social media and check it out. It's the entirety is just.
I just want to know who they think. Okay, so I love me some Sherry Shepard. I'm not going to go on record and say that I think that he has AIDS or HIV or anything like that. What I'm going to say is when I saw the video and then I look at all the older pictures, he looks sickly. Now, I think that a lot of times when people start working out and they start losing weight, they'll look like they're working out and losing weight. They don't start to look sickly. He looks sickly to me. He looks old and sickly. He doesn't look healthy.
This could be stress
he doesn't look fit.
He almost lost his congregation. Of course, he wouldn't step down. I guess I can't say he almost lost his congregation, but he's gone through a lot. So stress can make you lose weight. But when you start to make what seems to be an excuse for it, then that draws questions to me. Now you're talking about muscles. I've lost weight, but I'm gaining muscles.
But he didn't show any muscles. I didn't see him flexing. I didn't see him showing any muscles.
He's not going to get any muscles trying to be a vegan, and that's what he's claiming to be at this point.
Well, there are plenty of vegans that have muscles. He just has to work on
Are they old?
And drink some protein stuff. But what he needed to do was, other than just putting on workout clothes and walking near a treadmill saying, I'm working out, show me somewhere. He's sick. And it may not be that. I mean, it could be, there are plenty other sicknesses. But that ain't.
Now, I will agree that it is not nice, no matter what the situation is.
It's not to call somebody out.
Right. I will say that. I do agree with that. However, yeah, I better stop right there. I don't think it's cool, but it's information and it's Eddie, and you put yourself out there, so we have to talk about it.
I talked about it. I'm over it now.
Eddie, get it right before you step up and have your camp represent you a little better than Sherry. Be careful what you're saying, too. I just have to say that.
Or not, Sherry girl. You know I love you. I'm just like you, so I don't.
Let's get back to the 9/11. So there's a commercial that came out. There's a mattress company in Texas that made this really tasteless commercial. Matter of fact, if we can, let's roll this. Let's roll this tape, this 9/11 tape that showed in Texas.
What better way to remember
And we'll talk
9/11 than
about
with
that.
a twin tower sale? Right now, you can get any size mattress for a twin price.
Full mattress?
Twin price.
Queen mattress?
Twin price.
King mattress?
Twin price. Store-wide sale all day long. Oh my God! We'll never forget.
Now, Tony, our producer, sent this to me, and if you look at it, the more you look at it, the two mattresses that they're falling back against, that's supposed to be the Twin Towers. And then they're having this sale of 911. I mean, people thought it was really disrespectful. It's very tasteless.
I mean, sometimes people make mistakes. I get where they kind of thought it was humorous, kind of tongue-in-cheek, and it was a very low-budget commercial. But I thought that they were trying to find a way to bring business to the store, and they just kind of did it the wrong way.
Do you think they should have maybe hired actors? Because it doesn't help the
Again, it was
cause.
low budget.
Well, yeah,
was
and of course,
low
that's the
budget.
beautiful memorial in New York of the 9/11, of September 11th.
Well, the worst part about it is that that company has since closed their doors indefinitely, so they're probably out of business.
Now, do you think that's because of guilt, or do you just think that they will probably never bounce back and switch the name like most people do?
I think they'll probably never bounce back.
I think they'll change the name and become something else and go into a totally different business, like most of the nightclubs do out here, when they change their names from one thing to another and they reopen, and business as usual, you know.
Well, speaking of business as usual, another piece of great entertainment story is the Playboy Mansion sold. So Hugh Hefner finally sold the Playboy Mansion. It was originally listed for $200 million. I could not find anything to show me how much he actually paid for it when he purchased it originally, but he had it listed for $200 million. He ended up lowering the price to $100 million. So he sold it for half of what he was actually asking for. But the kicker is that the company, or the people who actually bought it, it's an organization, allow Hugh Hefner to live there indefinitely.
To live there indefinitely?
Well, I mean, indefinitely
So
for
he
Hugh
has
Hefner
money
isn't
and he
that
has
much.
a place to live.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, it's Hugh Hefner, so
Well,
indefinitely
okay.
isn't a long time.
Well, definitely a
Like
long game.
indefinitely for him is probably like maybe 2 more years. So he gets like 2 years to live there for free. So he gets to keep throwing his Playboy Mansion parties.
How old is he?
137.
Should he
No,
maybe,
I'm kidding. I don't want somebody at home to really think.
do you
he's
think that maybe
137.
he should do a commercial for, should I say that? I'm going to say it.
Do a commercial for what?
For Viagra.
He would probably cost too much.
You think so?
He probably costs too much. You know how much money they would have to pay Hugh Hefner to do a commercial for anything? Well, they can do it at his place. It's free. He's got free rent.
Money. Anyway, Fashion Week is this week in New York, of course. So much stuff going on. Kanye, of course, is the big topic of always. I heard Tim Gunn, who's another fashion guy, he is not a fan of Kanye.
Well, because he's a fan of fashion.
Well, the thing is,
Kanye is
now
not.
here's the thing that kind of bothered me when it came to Tim Gunn. He seems a little bitter because just like everything else, things change. The baby boomers are really redesigning every category that there is. So in this fashion world, because Kanye has, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't like most of his clothes. I don't like his shoes. They're great for young people, but for me, well, his outfits are simple, they're tight, they're plain, and Tim just believes that anybody would be crazy to wear them, yet they're selling out. So that means that, Tim, maybe you should redirect your angle and find a way to join the Kanye camp.
Well, I think people who are fans of true fashion and classic fashion are never going to join Kanye's.
But here's another thing. Who sets the trend? If there are guys like Tim who's setting the trend, yet now we're finding with these new millenniums, they're not really listening to the
But I think
to the
trends
fashion
are
critics
different.
anymore.
Trends are different. Trends are going to be here today, gone tomorrow. But classic,
Okay.
vintage fashion has never changed. It's been the same. And so they'll just find new ways to grow and build, but you'll look at it, and there are certain things on the runway that you'll look at, and you'll know it's Valentino. You'll know it's Coco Chanel. You'll know. Those things are classic. It's never going to change. And the new designers will keep coming, but you notice they keep going too.
Well, I guess I'll give you credit. I guess longevity in this industry is kind of tough to achieve.
Not for some people, they stay around. And Kanye had those models on the runway trying to walk in heels that couldn't walk. They had to actually have
At least they had heels
handlers.
on.
Well, they had to have handlers come out and pull them off the runway
Oh,
because they couldn't
really?
walk in them. No, it's crazy. It's one thing to have a vision, but you have to have the experience to be able to bring it to the runway and pull off a show. Like he had this girl almost break her ankles trying to walk in crazy heels in a tight dress.
Well, you have to fault her. If she can't do it, she should have never showed up or put the heels on. I mean, if you want to put yourself out there for self-humiliation in front of the world, then that's. Speaking of fashion, Young Thug, guys. Young Thug, the rapper Young Thug. Boy, his album cover is causing some type of controversy these days. He is showing up in
Work.
a full couture dress.
That's
Now, this is a
couture.
rapper. This is the Young Thug. What's so young and thuggish about this?
It's so avant-garde.
And
though.
that it is. Tim
It's
probably
so-
loves it.
I want to wear it. Like it's avant-garde, and he's got the little couture pose. Like he worked it.
So a lot of people were saying that.
You can't tell it's a he under
Well,
there.
they're
but
saying a lot of people
he
are saying
worked
that
it.
that he's gay or this is very anti whatever. Is this a plot or ploy to sell records to have us talking about Young Jock?
We're talking about it. Men wear kilts.
Well, this
I
is
don't
another
care.
thing that he wears a lot of different things that are so far extreme that this is really not a shock if you really know him. But
It's awesome.
should he
It's-
change his name to Young Thugina? Or I'm trying to think of something that would.
Ooh. Well, let's be clear. Thug, by definition, is just. I guess you can do whatever you want to do, Mr. Thug, but I love that dress. What size is that? and I was gonna say, let me see what his face look like. Now, I don't ever want to see this face in a dress.
Now I'm gonna be honest.
So-
Piercings and all those things. That's a red flag to me. If you have a piercing in your face and your nose or whatever, it's just not normal, in my opinion. I'll throw Lil Wayne out there as well, who
Or
also
not.
plans on retiring. Oops, we'll come back to that another time. But it's
I'm glad they covered all of his face up.
well,
because
that's Young Thug.
had
This
they
is the
shown
guy
that
in a
face,
dress,
ugh,
and he's a rapper that's actually pretty popular.
just keep showing. I appreciate the fact that he doesn't show that face on his album cover. He'll sell more albums with that great dress.
Now, before we run out of time, I have to get to my I don't get.
Get to your I don't get it.
I don't get it. Now, let's get to Alicia Keys. Now, I have this for you. Now, there's this whole, you said something about the natural beauty that she said. Now, she's going with this plain look. If you guys don't know, she's not wearing makeup or anything.
Well, she says that women are starting to put too much pressure on themselves with getting ready and putting on makeup, that women should be able to go outside and just be beautiful and go with the flow.
So my question, and hopefully you guys can go on Facebook and you guys can hit us up and let us know your opinion, especially the guys and the girls. I want to hear from you too. But is that deceitful? Say, for example, if you're dating and we're talking about the natural beauty, and I should hope that she discussed it with her husband, which I do believe he's actually supporting her in this. So my thing is, if you are a female and you're trying to get a top-notch guy, and you put on, I mean, can you get that being natural without having any makeup on, without having your hair, really whatever, and that's natural beauty? Can you get the man that you really want?
Absolutely. Women, focus on skincare. I think skincare is the most important thing. If your skin is fresh and it's clean and it's glowing and you're effervescent and you love yourself and you're happy with life and you're a good person on the inside, that'll come through.
Now
That'll come through.
That's being true to yourself. But my deceptive part is, if you're dating someone in the dating sector and you're wearing all this makeup and all this stuff, and now all of a sudden that you guys are about to get married, you decide, hey, you know what? I'm not wearing makeup anymore. Do I have the right to walk away?
Folks, check us
I'm
out on our
running.
Facebook page
I'm
on
running,
Taylor
guys.
and Collins. Give us your opinions. Tell us how you feel about Collins's I don't get it.
Now, everybody, don't get me wrong, she's beautiful and everybody can't get away with it, but the message she's sending out, are you setting women up or to fail, or are you setting them up to be naturally beautiful? I'm not
We'll
going to
leave
get
that
any more
be.
trouble, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you to our studio audience for joining us again here on Taylor and Collins Live. Check us out on Facebook at Taylor and Collins Live. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks, and we're going to leave you guys with a certain little special treat.
And also, thank you guys for sending those photos in. Keep them coming to our Facebook page, like she said, Taylor and Collins. And
take a look at this. Our producer Tony has put together a nice collage in celebration of September 11th, and we hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed putting it together.
enjoyed you guys. Can't wait to see you guys in a couple of weeks.